A very good evening to you. Thanks for joining us on the Tuesday edition of the show. It's the first one for the week. We promise to make it worth your while. I'm Yemi Adebayo. Today on the show, we'll be talking about Nigeria's senior men's basketball team, the D-Tigers. I almost said D-Tigers. We'll talk about them on the show. We'll give you a slice of hockey. Of course, we'll talk about the much talked about issue today in Nigerian sports, the athletics integrity unit, the hammering that has been handed on Blessing Okagbari. We'll talk about that. And of course, the fallout, how it also affects others. We'll talk about that on the show as we move on. We will talk about also something that is heartwarming, sports performance rewards, something that is being put together to encourage athletes to do well. It's the, kind of reward put in place, and hopefully it will see the light of the day. Then again, we'll go to Wimbledon and talk about what is going on right there. Serena Williams being made to struggle earlier in the day. We saw Rafa Nadal struggle. We'll talk about all of those top stars as they continue to do their best to win the Grand Slam. All right, let me quickly introduce, of course, our partner in the Lagos studio. Austin Konakman will join in later on. But first, let me quickly introduce the guy with me in the Lagos studio. Kende Idris joins me now. Kende, greetings to you. Thanks for finding out time, as usual, to be with us this lovely Tuesday evening.
Yeah, good to be here. Good to also, understand the fact that there is something getting my full attention here. Yes, the Super Falcons, yes, the Wimbledon, but there is something about hockey. Yeah. Hockey right there. I think when we get into talking, experiences from what hockey had been and so many other sports that seem like gone into, not proper, facing. I don't want to use extension when we get to talk.
All right, so hopefully we'll have an elaborate discussion on hockey, like Kende Idris said. And of course, we'll talk about the Super Falcons of Nigeria as they go on to seek their 10th title at the African Women's Cup of Nations. All right, so that's the outlook of the show. Let's see if Joseph Atewa is ready. Let's bring him in. Let's see if we can allow him join in on the show while we're trying to do that. Okay, it appears like he is on and he is ready. Greetings to you, Joseph. Thanks for finding out time to be with us on the show tonight.
Good evening, Yemi, and of course, good evening to everyone watching at this point. But I feel super excited, to be joining live and super excited to be on this platform. You spoke about the Super Falcons, and it shows how important they are when it comes to female African competition. Of course, look at the South African FA saying that if they can teach from the Super Falcons, $50,000. That's a lot of money. We'll go into that when we get to that stage. And of course, I really want to talk about Iga Swiatek writing off Venus Williams' record. What a feat.
All right, we'll get to all of that in a bit. All right, also Konakman is ready as well. Let's, of course, let him come on and, of course, add a lot of spice, a lot of things happening at his end over there. Greetings to you, Austin. Always good to do this together.
Spotty greetings to you, Yemi, and of course the guys in the studio. Always a delight to be on sports tonight. And yes, so much still going down in our world of sports right here in the United Kingdom. So much about the transfers happening. Silly season it is. Bams about Arsenal signing Gabriel Jesus, and some people just pronounce the name like Jesus. And like now that Arsenal has got Jesus, is this the end of their problems? So silly season it is. So we'll wait to see what's going to come out of more transfer stories. Shout out to Taiwo Awuni joining Nottingham Forest for a record club fee. And of course, we'll talk about what's going on with athletics in Nigeria, the athletics integrity unit. It seems they don't want Blessing Okagbari to return to the track. They always go back to take a look at violations and find ways to extend her ban. That's about quite a number of things that we'll talk about on the show, and I'm super pumped up for it here.
All right, so Yeah, let's start with basketball on the show. Twitter is a very funny place, and anytime I want some comic relief, I always go to Twitter. Of course, it's in the news that the Nigerian Basketball Federation has released a 12-man roster for the third window of the Fiba African World Cup qualifiers in Kigali. It's going to be between June 27 to July 5. I mentioned Twitter. A lot of people saying, oh, FIBA is welcoming us back with open hands. They thought they were going to do something. But I guess they wanted us back, and they've just closed the door on that. So I guess since they've moved on, we should move on as well. Let's take a look at the 12-man list. We can really talk about it. Then, of course, get the thoughts of the guys. And whether or not what I just said, you know, some have even expressed concerns that they thought FIBA was going to do something, but it appears they're just glad that we're back. And that's what you have on your screen, the names of the guys. Uchenna Uruegbu, Ikena Umdugba is there, Michael Okiki, Ben Emologu, you have Michael Oriaki, Michael Binije, you have Ibe Agu, and of course you also have Chimeze Metu, Victor Kobo, Christian Mekolu, and Emmanuel Omogbo. These are the guys that will be in that 12-man roster. Of course, the Tigers currently ranked #1 in Africa. And the coaches, of course, you're going to have Alan Major, and he will be assisted by Ogo Odaudu as the team goes out to do what he does best, which is winning games and of course, going forward. Nigeria sits atop Group A with 5 points from 3 matches. Let me just quickly yield the floor to Austin. I don't know if you want to take it from the angle that it appears like all is well that ends well, nothing is happening, we're being welcomed back with open arms by FIBA, or it's the game you just want to talk about?
Because Nigeria is a huge market, you know, when you talk about sports, particularly in terms of participation. You're sure that you have Nigerians in the host country come out to root for the team. There's something about the vibes that Nigerians have whenever there are competitions. So every international body will want to have Nigeria, the competition. But I mean, if you take a look at this roster and put in perspective the D Tigers, the last competition they had at the Afro Basket that shattered every good record the Nigeria men's basketball team had, you don't want them to come back in this sort of way. And look at their group. I see a tricky Cape Verde. I see a tricky Mali. So that means there's still a lot of work to be done. I like the fact that some of these guys, they just don't represent the fatherland. But now it's looking like it's not about how well, it is just come, let's hurry up and do it. And maybe that's even the same mentality FIBA is having, that, oh, Nigeria, they've been through so much and they've cost it upon themselves. So let's just tell them welcome and, you know, have them, you know, play at these qualifiers. But there is more grief on the other side of the story. I mean, the men will be saying, oh, we get a chance to go for the qualifiers or for the Men's World Cup. What about the women that struggled, that labored to qualify for the World Cup in Australia, and that hope dashed? So you see, this is what we're talking about. This could have been avoided, but because of some level of misunderstanding, selfish interest, poor crisis management resolution, this is where we are. Nothing to expect even from these guys, because whatever result they give you at this stage, you just take it, because what's the level of preparation? What's the coaching crew bringing? What sort of support do they have at this stage? So this is another beautiful script of Nigeria fire brigade approach, and let's just go out there and just do it instead of doing it the right way.
All right, let me get the thoughts of the guys. Let me start with Joseph. I mean, I guess, like Austin, a lot of us are resigned to whatever we get. But what are your thoughts?
Well, just as Austin rightly said, it's very disturbing. I want to use that word, that we will not be at the World Cup, talking about the female team here, because I know how those girls, worked really hard to get to their position. They did everything possible, and trust me, it was a thing of joy when they qualified. But then, just as Austin rightly pointed out, selfish interest, misadministration, or maladministration, I should say, and not getting things right has cost us this. But let's look at the positive. For the male team, yes, this is another hurdle for them to scale through. This is another battle for them to fight, which I believe they will definitely scale through, being Africa's best team when it comes to basketball at the moment. But then he spoke about administration. I think this is something we need to look out for. I look at the leadership torso that has rocked the federation over the years. So it is pretty annoying, but at the same time, happy for the guys that they will have a chance to at least get to the World Cup.
All right, at least they get the World Cup. Kenny Idris, your own thoughts. I don't know. I want to get your thoughts on the Fiba. We said something before we came on set, but were you surprised that we were welcome back with open arms?
I'm surprised. Although over time, Fiba had always been like they seldom bite, only back, and then always a slap on the wrist when it comes to punishment. But on this day, I don't have problem with Fiba. Whichever way Fiba wants to harden themselves. What I have problem with is my own terrain, talking about my own country, where it seems like we've gotten to a shameless point. Yes, Fiba can welcome us with open arms and all of that, but how long do we continue to go back and forth on issues like this? The women's, the women not being at the World Cup yet, probably there's something Fiba can still do. For the male, if you check out that list, like Austin pointed out, you understand this is a play down list. This is not the kind of list that the Tigers always pose whenever we have competitions like this. You understand they just had to pick guys from different places and all of that. My pain here is, how come I am feeling pained, you are pained, a lot of Nigerians are paying, but you always look at the administrators and it doesn't feel like they are paying for stuff like this, except for administrative issues. I'm not allowed to be in the office. I'm not allowed to do this. We would have sanctioned this and all of that. The major thing that even puts you in the office, because if there is no basketball, you won't even have an office, doesn't seem like it pains them the way it does us. The guys, the girls and all of that, the real gladiators getting disenfranchised from different things, not getting the right support and all of that, does not feel like it pains them. Hey, you said it is our reality. We'll face it. But I'm hoping one day we'll get to a point where, as easy as we can sanction coaches and players, we can also drop hammer on the administrators the moment issues like this gets to happen.
Okay. We'll wait for that day. I don't know if it's going to happen anytime soon. But I guess we've exhausted all the angles to the story. All the best to the senior men's basketball team of Nigeria. And hopefully we'll be able to sort out all the issues on the domestic scene, especially with development of the game, because it looks like that is being pushed aside, as the case always is. We'll concentrate on the national teams to the detriment of the development of the game, and it's really sad. But Austin, you touched upon something, and I want you to lead us into this discussion. Blessing Okagbare, I don't even know where to start. We knew that it was bad. We knew the case was bad, but 11 years in total, I don't even know what to say. Somebody joked. Somebody joked and said they are telling her to forget athletics and just start having children or something. Just forget.
No, they really want to use her to set a standard, to tell people that, look, we're not joking. Even when you think it's over, we will go back, review your case, and then come to you. Because this extension that Blessing Okagbare's ban is getting is just, it just goes to tell you that the athletics integrity unit, they're not joking. They are really ready to sanitize the sport. And we keep saying it to Africans that, look, because Africa is a shining star. These people will put eye on you guys, make sure that they use you guys as examples. And it's just rather unfortunate, because this is not how Blessing Okagbare should be ending a fantastic athletics career. The level of glory, the representation she's giving to Nigeria everything has come crashing, you know. And this was just before the Tokyo Olympic Games, when she was right there in Lagos, competed with the relay team. We qualified for the World Athletics Championship in Oregon. Now they have said because she was part of that qualifying process, Nigeria has been disqualified. It's painful. Very, very painful, Yemi. I struggled. I tried to reach out to her because the first time that the ban came out after she competed to qualify for the semifinals at the Olympics, I reached out to Blessing, and she said the voice told her, peace, be still. They went back, reviewed it, increased the length of the ban, and reached out to her. She was broken. Now imagine the way she'll be feeling, because she might say, oh, okay, right after this, I'll bounce back, find a way to, you know, be good with this thing. And it's not just happening. Let's just take a look at the AIU verdict on Blessing Akagbare. We'll read it so our viewers will understand what's going on. It's a lengthy statement, but we've been able to, you know, break it down in such a way that our viewers will understand, particularly for people who are just getting to find out that Blessing Akagbare's ban has been extended to 11 more years. That's it right there. They said, while Akagbare has had a current 10-year ban from athletics extended by 1 year, it's now 11 years in total. Another significant consequence of this decision against her is that Nigeria has lost its potential qualification place for the women's 4x100 meter relays at next month's World Athletics Championship in the United States of America. This is because 6 days after Ms. Akagbare evaded sample collection that was taken on June the 13th, 2021, she competed in the 4x100 meters relay event at the Nigerian Olympic trials with a relay squad qualifying for this year's World Championships. All individual and relay results involving Akagbare from June the 13th, 2021 are now disqualified under the rules. Guys, I was looking at this. Okay, there's more to the statement. It says, over the years, we have repeatedly seen how one person's action adversely affects teammates who have trained hard and worked honestly for their results, noted Claudia of the Athletics Integrity Unit. In a relay team, if one member violates the anti-doping rules, everyone bears the brunt of results being expunged. They all pay the price. In this instance, Nigeria has lost an important qualification spot. Those are the rules, and we will not compromise on integrity. That's from the Athletics Integrity Unit. And they've said it, that they are ready for this fight to sanitize athletics. And the painful thing about all of this is that the administrators of athletics in Nigeria will not just see reasons to learn and find ways to, you know, make sure that anti-doping is top-notch. On 14 February 2022, the Disciplinary Tribunal banned Akagbare for 10 years. Just to give you a brief, you know, background to what's going on. So we'll get to that slide again so that you can see it, or try to read it when it comes up, and you understand where we're coming from. And when the Athletics Integrity Unit said they are not joking and we will not compromise on integrity, this is what they're talking about. But there must be lessons learned for Nigeria in this stuff, Yemi, Joseph, and Kende. If we don't learn and find a way to educate younger athletes, because I'm sure that's where we should be going with this. I've been on different platforms and people were saying, oh, Blessing, they want Blessing. Some officials are complicit in this drug and all this cheat situation. And I said, we will keep calling them out. What the AFN needs to do now is to sanitize themselves and make sure that we have professionals. We have people who are guided by integrity, accountability, and responsibility. Particularly athletes, know what you're taking. Understand that sometimes this thing can just destroy your efforts. Look at Blessing and everything she has done for her beautiful career. Just when we thought that she was going to give it a good ending, it's looking so sad, guys.
Really, really sad. All right, with a heavy heart, We need to go on a break. And of course, when we return from that break, we'll continue the discussion of Blessing Okagbare and all other sports-related issues, especially on the domestic scene. That'll be after this break. All right, welcome back. Well, I mean, Austin read out all of the things, the athletics integrity unit. I mean, I said, there's really nothing to add. And you know, at some point I was thinking Justin Gatlin and some of the other guys, I didn't see any of them get 11 years. I mean, this is not to justify whatever it is that happened, because it's puzzling. I guess probably we'll get the experts to talk to us later on. Maybe it's an emotional side of me talking. Kende Idris, do you think it's the emotional side of me in this conversation? I mean, you look at if some of those notable guys who've done it, you know, even some of them caught with band. I'm not talking about evading tests now, just caught with, you know. But let's leave that aside. Maybe it's just emotions speaking. But I mean, how can she pick the pieces?
Yeah, you can say emotions, yes. Probably as Nigerians, those emotions will come rushing. But actually, I have the same feeling like you do. Just the same thing I've been saying since last year, since this case started from the Olympics and all of that. I've heard Nigerians, you know, just go straight to Blessing Okagbare, she's this, she's that, and all of that. I don't have a problem. She's wrong. Punish her. But like you just pointed out, the swift in the ban, the 10 years, now making it 11 years. I have heard a lot of stories that has to do with athletics in the world. And I ask a simple question. AIU, is this the right standard? Is it the same playing level that we are on?
All over the world.
All over the world. Because there are names, like you just mentioned, Justin Gatlin, if he had gotten the same ban, won't be back to athletics and still be competing at the highest level. 10 years, and with this added 1 year, trust me, Yemi, if I hear that another 5 years is added to Blessing Okagbare, it won't come as a surprise. Because what they said is the revelations are still ongoing. That is why, you know, they found another thing that added, you know, 1 more year to this whole thing. Yes, the relay team has lost their place and all of that. I'm asking, Nigerians not choosing to back up for AIU and WA World Athletics, this should be made a standard when it happens like this. Because you hear cases last for 2-3 years. They are on it, back and forth and all of that. The doping test wasn't this, I had that, adjourned for another 6 months. But this is so swift. That has been my #1 problem. The swiftness in the pronouncement of the ban for Blessing Okagbare. Then look at how long, 10 years. It just seemed like, hey, you might say also, it's Kende Idris is from Nigeria, emotions running. But this is something that has to do with facts too.
And you know, that's why I want us to be very, very careful.
Yes, I'm treading drawing a fine
cautiously.
line. Drawing a fine line. But I'm using issues that happened in the past.
Precedent.
Yes. Look at the Russian athletes. I keep going back to ROC. You said, okay, Russian athletes sponsored doping and all of that, they won't come. But there is an ROC in the competition, which is Russian Olympic Committee. And just few months after the Olympics got concluded, for every Russian athlete that wins a medal, you hear Russian silver medalist at the Olympics.
Because people know they are Russians.
So the Olympics Committee, the OC in the ROC had been taken out, but Russia stands. Hey, let us make it a normal template. Right. It shouldn't be. It seems like it's aimed at some people, and some people are getting a softer landing.
Yeah. All right. Like I said, hopefully after all of this, when everything simmered down, we'll probably get experts. Maybe we're being emotional. I don't know.
We don't know the drugs.
Yeah, okay. We don't know. But let's bring in Joseph. Maybe he's going to help us tone it down. Do you think emotions running wild? You know, some people say, why are you trying to kill a cockroach with a sledgehammer? That's what he appears like. But then again, rules are rules, like the AIU is saying.
Well, the rules are the rules, no doubt about that. And Blessing Okagbare is above 30, plus 11 more years. If you add that to her age, it means that even if she'll make a return, which I don't see happening, she'll be 40-something. And, you know, stamping her feet on the ground will be pretty difficult. Now, talking about double standard, yes, the rules are the rules, but then sometimes you wonder where or how they treat other athletes or even players compared to African athletes and players in general. For example, look at what happened to Kotsuma in regards to the cards issue. Look at what Luis Suarez did. Look at what happened to a player, I think it was in Werder Bremen in Germany. Put them together and you said the sanction on Kotsuma was too harsh. The same thing with Blessing Okagbare. Yes, we're Nigerians. We are expected to feel this way. But then just as Idris said, the AIU needs to come out, plain. Be it Justin Gatlin, be it Blessing Okagbare, the rules are the rules. But what we are getting right here, I want to agree with the guys that this is double standard.
Okay, all right. Let me go back to Austin, probably a final bit on this. I know we could go on and on and on. Maybe you're going to be the one to tone it down for us. You think emotions into this? A lot of us still feel it's a bit harsh.
It's tough to just come out and question what the athletics integrity units are doing because, they said it before the Olympics. That they're stopping at nothing. And they were going after the elite athletes. Why? To set a standard, to let them know that you guys are supposed to be role models. Just because they've not come out with another top athlete, we think that, they're targeting a particular set of countries or region. But that is why our athletes, particularly athletes from Africa, must be careful. You'll be so shocked what they're planning for Kenya now, just to make sure that people are coming to the sports very clean, people coming to the sports with the expected level of professionalism, and because they know that this drug cheat thing doesn't just start and end with the athletes. There are a lot of persons involved. Remember, there was a name that came up, something Mr. Lira, that the FBI was was after because he sold drugs for athletes to use to cheat at the Olympics. It's just rather unfortunate that it has happened to one of ours, not just any other person, a respected top-class athlete from Nigeria. Blessing Okagbare, this is so sad because she's someone I admire her career. I love her journey in athletics. We thought we could use her as a model, to teach younger persons on how to, be a successful athlete. Because when you take a look at her career, she braved the odds. She went the distance. This is just so sad. But I'm so sure there are lessons in it for Blessing, for the Athletics Federation of Nigeria, for athletes, particularly current athletes. Don't forget, we had athletes who went to Tokyo and couldn't compete because they were missing when they were supposed to do some particular test. We should not stop calling out administrators, places who are supposed to do their bit to ensure that we avoid this sort of embarrassment. It's sad. Blessing is 33. She's already 33, so if you add 11 to it, they're just saying, plan your retirement, go back, look at the things you did with athletics and educate other athletes on how to stay clean.
Start your second career. That's basically it. All right, guys, we need to move on. As touching as it is, so many angles to it. We can go on and on and on, but other things to talk about. We talked about something earlier, the Sports Performance Reward Fund. We've been hearing about it for a while, and what it aims to do, actually, is to reward athletes who attain podium success at the Olympics, the Commonwealth Games, and the All-African Games, plus the World Championship. And that reward fund has been launched in Lagos. The reward system plans to give Olympic gold medalists 10 million naira, silver medalists 7.5, and bronze medalists 5 million naira. I think this will encourage a lot of the athletes. Let's listen to the secretary of the fund, well-respected sports person, Godwin Kienka. Let's listen to what he has to say. We'll come back for more on Sports Tonight.
Starting from the next Olympics, we plan to give the gold medalists 10 million, the silver medalists 7.5, the bronze medalists 5 million. Commonwealth Games is 5-3-2. All Africa Games is 3-2-1, and the World Championships are major World Championships are 3-2-1. Our business is you achieve the results, you get so much, and it is guaranteed. How you achieve it is your business. So we hope that knowing that the businessmen depend on hope. They work on hope. They work on feasibility studies. They work on probability, possibility. That is a businessman for you. So a businessman can set up a boxing gym knowing that if he produces 5 Olympic boxers, which is very easy because we have that talent, produces great runners, that he is in one Olympic circle with 5 boxers winning gold at the Olympic, and in the other, he can make 100 million. So they are going to invest. If an athlete knows that he has a 10 million naira waiting for him at the Olympics, he doesn't need anybody to tell him to go and train. He doesn't need any other motivation. He does not. If an athlete knows that if he wins Olympics, Commonwealth, All Africa Games, he has 20 million, they are going to do the training. A lot of them are now training on their own without any hope already. But if they have a diadem out there waiting for them to gather, they will do the training.
All right. That's good to hear. I'm very sure the athletes probably be jumping somewhere and hoping that this thing hits the ground, and of course, so that they can all benefit from this. So I want to say that's a good initiative. All right, guys, a lot on our plates tonight. Let's quickly talk some hockey and get that out of the way. Of course, as part of efforts to improve the performance of hockey teams in Nigeria, the Nigeria Hockey Federation has commenced the 2022 Hockey Super League. Kenny Davis talked about it earlier, says he's very excited to talk about it. Of course, speaking at the Moshood Abiola Stadium in Abuja, the vice chairman of the Niger Flickers, that's Mohamed Kolo. He says the level of the game has improved tremendously with the yearly participation of teams in the Hockey Super League. He also expressed optimism that the teams will represent Nigeria at the African Hockey Nations Cup Championship, which will improve on their 2021 performance of a bronze medal. 16 teams comprising 8 male and 8 female teams are participating in this year's Super League, and you have the pictures right there on your screen. Let's quickly listen to the vice chairman of Niger Flickers. We'll come back for more Sports Tonight.
This 2022 edition will be very, very interesting. Why? Because all these 16 teams are on ground, 8 female teams and 8 male teams. So it will be very, very explosive. For a while now, we always have some kind of maybe 7 male teams, 6 female, but as it is today, we have all the teams on ground to participate in this championship. It really helped in the sense that every year, every hockey player is assured that he's coming to Abuja or Kaduna, wherever it's going to take place, to participate in the Hockey Super League. Because this Super League is the highest level playing hockey in this country as of today, which is a yardstick for qualification to African Cup for Club Championship, slated for South Africa by November, December this year. Last year, we got 2 teams that participated in the ACC, Kaduna, Kada Stars, and the Police Machine. Everybody that watched, like the Kaduna team, they've actually raised the standard of hockey in Nigeria. Seriously, the hockey level has gone very, very high now with the constant participation of teams in this championship.
All right, that's it. Can you just a quick one on this? We're pressed for time, but a quick one on this one.
Yeah, so happy when I heard this. I can remember when handball started, resumed, and some names I've always known in the handball setup coming back, like the Grasshoppers from, Enugu and thereabouts. So when I heard this, so happy, because while growing up, these were some of the sports I was exposed to. And I knew people were enthusiastic about this. At a point, I had them, talking about playing basketball, getting to athletics, because there was nowhere they could express all of the talent or, what they've learned from hockey. There was nowhere to express it. So happy. Already you'll find some people, queuing into this because it's back.
All right, so as the Hockey Super League. All right, guys, let's talk about the big one. I'm going to give the floor to Austin. 4 days to go. Talking about the African, is it the WAFCON or the HOCON? I don't know. I mean, those names get bandied out. I don't know. Austin, which do you prefer, WAFCON, HOCON?
I think I like WAFCON, it's because we're saying AFCON and now WAFCON just does it for the Women's Africa Cup of Nations. So we're getting ready. It's 4 more days to go. And, I'm super confident when I talk about this one. I don't have any fear as regards what the Super Falcons can do. But I just like it when we win with style. While we talk about the class of that had Messi, Akide, Kikelomo, Ajayi, Flores, Omagbe, is because of the sort of football that they played, So I want the Super Falcons team to keep dominating Africa in style. I know you guys will come up and give me those worries about, there is South Africa, there is Morocco and all of that. Yeah, we know, but I love what Randy Wardrum is doing with this team. It did a good job with their mentality and said, wait a minute, you guys are just local champions and your superiority is being challenged. These guys are closing in the gap. So come and prove that you are indeed African champions. And I love the fact that they qualified for this championship, beating the respected Ghana women's team. That's some, good way to remind Africa that, look, we're not joking. The Super Falcons, 9-time African champions. Put some respect to that name. And they've started their campaign going for 10. And they want fans, particularly Nigerian fans, to come support them so they can go to Morocco and win in style. It's that style that I'm after. And this guy, Randy Wardrum, whenever he steps out with this team, he's learning something new. Because for me, when Ashley Plumter was joining the team, I wanted to see what Randy Wardrum could do with Ashley Plumter. And from our first game, you could tell that the guy knows what he's doing. Even before going to get Plumter, he knew what he wanted to do with Ashley Plumter. So for me, it's all the best to the Super Falcons. I just want them to go to Morocco and dominate that competition in style. I know Kehinde Idris might disagree, but it's okay. Bring some balance to it.
Definitely, I agree to a very good extent. I always say a very good competition side, when you're talking the Super Falcons, they understand what it takes. Then if you're talking hunger, I think that is where probably a lot of persons are having issues, 9 times win out of 11 and all of that. We have a large crop of this team that has never won the AFCON. Some have not even been there. The likes of Anumonu, Plumter, I just mentioned, Monday Gift, and then you can go on and on with the numbers. They all want to do that. Then for those who had been there, if you follow the hashtag, the girls came up with or the women, like it is now, hashtag support the Super Falcons, hashtag go for 10, then hashtag saw the Super Falcons. All of these 3 hashtags are sending a right message that we understand what your support means and we know what it is to go for 10. Yes, let us raise the whole discussion. 11 out of 13 unofficially, 9 out of 11 officially and all of that. We want to make it double figure properly, and I'm so confident in the Super Falcons as it stands.
Okay, we need to go on a break right about now. When we come back from that break, we'll quickly get Joseph Atewa's thoughts on the Super Falcons and spend a few minutes we have left to talk about the Grand Slam tournament currently going on at Wimbledon. But that will be after this break. All right, welcome back. I promised to get Joseph's thoughts, even though we don't have much time. But Joseph, let me get your thoughts about the Super Falcons. I don't know if you're as confident as Austin or you're cautiously optimistic.
Well, I'm super proud to be a Nigerian. And of course, whenever you hear them talk about the Super Falcons, you get extremely happy. The same thing we witnessed in Cameroon, where the guys were saying, well, if it were the female team, we'll be confident that they will win the title. And that says a lot. But there's this thing that comes, this pressure that comes with making history. You remember Real Madrid when they wanted the La del Cima. What's that name right now? Serena Williams still battling to equal Mike Vercott's record. Nigeria looking to... So it comes with a lot of pressure. Look at the South African FA saying $50,000 will be given to each player if you can dethrone the Super Falcons, and they're almost there. The Aisha Buhari competition, they defeated the Super Falcons. You recall that the last Nations Cup in 2018, we won the title on penalties. So all the things are catching up. It will be pretty difficult this time, not just the South African FA. I can confirm to you that the Cameroon FA, led by Samuel Eto'o, is also promising $25,000 to $30,000 for each player. So how much is even the total amount when you win the AWCON or the African Women Cup of Nations? So it means that it goes beyond the prize money. these teams wanted to dethrone the Super Falcons with everything possible.
All right. Okay. So we leave it at that. All right, let's go to Wimbledon and talk about what appeared initially to be a mighty scare for Serena Williams, but it looks like it's under control now. She's up against Harmony Tan. She lost the first set. She lost 7-5. She won the second set 6-1, and she currently leads 3-1 in the third set, and it appears like she might win. Kehinde Idris told me not to worry when I expressed my thoughts. But Kehinde, let's talk about Rafa Nadal today as well.
Yeah.
Had to take 4 sets for Nadal.
Losing the third set, yes. But if you see he won 3 out of 4 sets, you feel, okay, it was pretty easy, just a scare. The guy played good tennis. He played good tennis. His opponent. 6-4, 6-3, 3-6, then, 6-4 right there. Massive one. What I'm loving about probably whether he's inconsistently consistent or consistently inconsistent, the chasing pack or the guys who these guys are now playing, the Nadals, the Djokovic, and even Serena when it comes to the women, the understanding, even if you won't win, ruffle the feathers a bit. Let them understand it is not given on a platter of gold. And that was what we saw with Djokovic. We saw it with Alcaraz also. You can say he's a young player, but in the last 18 months, he's been huge in the world of tennis. Serena also facing a bit of it. Now, this is where the problem lies with so many of this chasing pack or the guys just behind. The psychological strength to hold on. The Djokovic and all of that, they can preserve their psychology when it gets to that point. But you always wear out. You start to doubt a lot from inside, and that is where they get to, triumph.
Right. Wow. Okay, wow. I shouldn't be surprised. All right, Joseph Atewe, before we let you go, just first round matches, but men, women, your top picks, quickly.
I go with Iga Swiatek anytime, any day. I am hoping, the say to an extent, Emma Raducanu might also prove us or prove something there. And for the men, I would definitely stick anytime, any day, Novak Djokovic. All
right. Joseph Atewe, I want to thank you for your time on the show today. We'll do this again some other time.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
All right. That's our guy, Joseph Atewe. Kehinde Idris, your parting shot topics.
I think, traditionally, Serena Williams will get my attention every day. I'm having a feeling she might break something, in the Wimbledon. Then Iga Swiatek, when Ashley Barty was leaving, we felt the world #1 might just, be something that is being tossed around. But Iga has come in, stabilized it, and we're yearning for more for her. So for the women, both of them. For the male, Novak Djokovic, definitely. Then I'm looking at Carlos Alcaraz and Rafael Nadal.
All right. Okay, many options for Kehinde. By the way, Serena Williams is 3-3 in that third set, so just fingers crossed. Kehinde Idris, I want to thank you for your time on the show today.
Always lovely to be here.
All right. Okay, so that's what we've been able to bring to you. I'm still trying to keep my eyes on what's going on with Serena Williams, 3-3 in the third set. We'll see what happens. That's the show today. We do hope you've enjoyed everything we've brought to you. We'll be back here again tomorrow to take you on a trip across the money, spinning, fast-paced, and rewarding world of sports. I'm Yemi Adebayo. Bye-bye now.
That's it. Let's keep the conversation going on Twitter. We're channels_sports. In London, I'm Austin Okonakwan. In everything you do, remember, keep talking sports. Bye for now.